Hi, welcome back to Classic Car Cave. Just want to do a quick introduction into this work that I'm doing on this, I believe it's a 1936 Citroen Saloon. I'm only going off the numbers and the plates that I've got for it. And what I'm trying to do is I want to make it kind of hot roddy looking, but it's not going to be a hot rod. Obviously it's going to have the original engine in it, so it can hardly be a hot rod. You'd normally have a V8 or whatever in it, and then Jag IRS, Jag independent rear suspension. But what I'm trying to do is make a Roadster or a Tourer body for it, but keep it to the way it probably would have been built in the 1930s, whether that be early 30s or late 30s, pre-war anyway. So I'm trying to keep it in that style. Now I've found a lot of photographs of the Rossolays that were built as Tourers. Some were most of them were 6 cylinders. This is unfortunately only a 4. But I'm trying to keep it to that shape. So please understand that I could make it more sleek and so on, but hopefully at some point I can get this through a turf and get it on the road as a 1936 Rossolay Tourer, convertible, whatever. So I have to be a bit careful about how much I do with it. For instance, if I start putting big flash wheels on it and change the suspension and change the engine, I'm never going to get it sorted. So this is the reason I'm doing it. So I'm going to put some pictures up of some of the ideas or some of the thoughts, and we'll go from there. But it's a bit of a make it up as I go along kind of situation. And in today's video, I'm taking everything apart to weld in the pieces of the rear bulkhead and so on, so I can work from there, because I need a complete body with a frame inside it that we can lift off and move the chassis and the engine out of the way. Hope you enjoy the video. This first picture is actually of a Citroen Rossolay, but it's obviously a convertible or a Tourer, and I have to do something similar to like this, but not with that hood. This is the 6 cylinder one, and you can see it's a lot shorter on the back, but there was like a box on them, which I don't particularly like. This next rendering is the kind of thing I'd like it to look like. I think that's a big ask, but that's the kind of overall look, but obviously not with those wheels on it initially. And the reason I put this one up, even though it's a coupe, is that's the kind of front I want to do. So I might take use the grille, but put mesh instead. So I've got both these arms on now. They're only temporarily put on. This one is the original. This one we had to rebuild because it was absolutely rotten. So I'll put the arch on and give you a better idea. Basically there's just 2 bolts in here. So, yeah, just gives it an overall effect. But you can see how bad they are. They need a lot of work, a lot of repairs, and it's got to go through the English wheel. And I'll make a cowling for the front as well, because I want the chassis legs to stick out. So now I'll take that a lot apart. Okay, so I'm going to take the paper off. Try and keep this in one piece if I can. It's not going to be easy. tactic to this one. Alright. Oh. Forgotten I taped it. I've forgotten I taped it to this one. So, hopefully, I should better just lift this and the whole thing should slide out. Hopefully. Yeah. Jammed. One comes up, one goes down. There we go. Ah. So we need 2 people. Oh, good. Right. So I've cut this extra piece off now, and when I get it in line, it should drop straight down into that piece there. What I'll do, in actual fact, is I'll actually make a box section so it sits on it, as there's nothing in between. There's just the front and the rear sheet. But I'll do that now. What I want to do now is just check this frame, which is not square. You can see now it is square. And then here, I'm going to cut these these frames off. And this will bring this square to that. And you can see that that's straight down there, but this is obviously pushed back a little bit until I drop it in. So I'll cut these front bits off. That should line up exactly with this. And then I'll cut a piece out for this box section to go on it, but I need to mark it when it's in the correct position. What I'm going to do now is I've just measured that rod, and I can get some flat steel to go in there as a wedge. I won't do it all the way along. Sorry, I won't do it all the way along. I'll just put wedges in so far, and that will keep those 2 separate, so they go down over the chassis on the inside and the outside of the chassis. So that'll give me a pretty good indication the thickness of steel that I need. That just about goes down in there. So I get something that thick, I can cut it into sort of do 5, 2 at each end and 3 in the middle, and that'll keep that distance then there, because there's rivets in here, and that'll keep everything nice and straight. And then I can bring this back and line everything up. It's exactly the right distance now, and we'll go on from there. Yeah, okay. But it fits right nice on the back now, across the back here. But I'll close it in because obviously water could get inside it, so I'll cut a little bit more off, and then I'll put a wedge foot on it so that it can sit on it.